Hi, everyone. Let me know if you can hear me. If anyone can hear me, you can type in the chat.
Hi, yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, awesome. Cool things. Right. So I think I just found out that StreamYard has a new thing where you can actually put banners like all intro and banter, digital safety. Anyway, so I'm just gonna put it up. How are you, Sam?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome. I don't know
Yeah.
which kind of stage we should choose. That one or okay, since we're not doing a presentation. Because this one is up close.
Okay. That one.
This one or this one?
I think the second one is better. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like it's up. It's up in my face. I don't know.
You've already opened the room, like for people to
Yeah.
join.
People are joining. People are here. We are streaming live. Uh,
Nice.
so if you can see on the side, people are. So guys who've joined, I can see some familiar faces. Mukhtar is joining on LinkedIn. Dodi, if you could just tell us where you're streaming in from, where you're joining us from today. Um, Chantal is like it's all up in our faces. Chantal, we've changed the orientation. uh, Chantal, you want to? I want to actually bring you in for the how to call it the session on the CVs. There's some good reviews that I wanted. I want multiple independent reviews, so I'm gonna send a private invitation. So if you can check your WhatsApp. Sam, this week has been
Yeah.
long
It has.
already. I don't even know how I am.
Today has really felt like a Monday.
It is. Say today's a Monday.
Today's
Oh,
Monday.
it is a Monday. Let me I can invite to studio. Yeah. Oh, your camera is off, just in case.
Oops. Can you see me now?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think that beat has been joining for almost an hour. Because when I started streaming about an hour ago, I think that he was already in streaming from YouTube. So great. If anybody can let us know if they can see both of us clearly or cameras mode should change, we can always adjust it. So, all right. So I guess so far so good. We will get to start. So yeah, today I just want us to have conversations. I basically want us to have a lot of banter. I want us to be able to have talk. I want us to be able to just get to know various conversations that we're going to be discussing today. Digital safety, AMA. The AMA session, I think it should be throughout the entire session. So whether somebody wants to ask a question in the session, fine. If anybody wants to add during the session, so please help me to be able to moderate. In case somebody asks, you can always jump in and also give views. So we will
Yeah, I'll
try.
be looking at the
Yeah,
chat. Yeah.
we'll try to keep time as much as possible to be able to get this. So we have about 72 streaming from all over. People are still joining in. So I guess we can get to start. So I don't know if I'm excited to have this conversation today, and I want us to be able to do this quite often, just talking about cybersecurity, life, tech space. I mean, there's a lot of conversation that we want to just talk about. I shared something, which is easy to start with. Can you imagine on the poster? I clearly wrote
Mhm.
redact personal identifiable information or
Yeah.
PII.
I
Is
don't
is
think
it
people understood that, probably.
is it me who does not understand PII, or is it that
I
people are
don't
not?
I don't think it's a common phrase, so probably people weren't like they didn't pick up on that.
But you understood
Yeah.
it. So so anyway, I think maybe just it's one of those things that we need to basically just get to talk about. So some people actually uploaded their CVs for conversation for check-in, and they put their real details. But anyway, we would there are almost 25, 26 CVs. I don't think we'll be able to review all of them, but I will see how much it is. There are actually jobs that are open right now that I'm trying to fill some roles for, and it's quite difficult to actually fill those roles, which we are struggling to. So there are different conversations I want us to be able to have today. The first one is just basically getting to understand the digital space. I don't know what you understand by the digital space. Are you secure? Do you think you're secure, Sam?
Um, Honestly, no. I think there's there could definitely be. I've put a lot of information out there without knowing the repercussions. So I've really
Yeah,
been learning a lot in terms of like knowing how to be more secure online.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Maybe another question to ask you: whenever you go out to either party or friends and everything, do you
Yeah.
post the details of where you are live, or do you post later? Because I know some of you ladies like doing that thing of posting much later.
No, I do. Yeah, I do much later. So I never put like, okay, I'm here. But then if I'm posting like now, days later, I'll put where I was.
Oh, so
Yeah.
what do you personally get to do when it comes to digital safety? What makes sure um what makes you to actually be safe? Because in this day and age, I don't think most of us are secure. And people don't even know how much they put out there.
Yeah. Um, do you think you're secure, or like when did you start learning about like what to do to be secure online?
Yeah, in a long time. So
Yeah.
my cybersecurity journey has started from way back. I think when I was seven, six, seven thereabout was when I created my first computer virus. Imagine I was young.
You're a baby, yeah. 7 is crazy.
I was a normal student, by the way. I was a normal student trying to learn cybersecurity. I mean, computers at the time. I thought I would actually become a programmer, but clearly, I am nothing close to that right now. Or rather,
Yeah.
okay, close, but not close enough. And still, as much as I feel like I know cybersecurity, I still post a lot of things live. I am always posting my kids, my family, where I am.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think I'm living in the moments. I just want to post. I want to feel almost normal. So I don't
Yeah.
think I can be too much of how do you call it? I don't think I take digital safety very seriously. But also the thing is, I want to be able to see how do we get to be secure. We share
Yeah.
so many information out there, and I think it's about time we get to just start thinking through our entire digital safety.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring a few of those details and things that we forget. And people, please, this is Chatham House rules. Anything goes. So please do share questions as you come. Be able to actually ask questions. We'll be reading the comments. We'll be able to actually comment on those. Chantal is asking Brian, what were you doing at that age? By the way, first of all, at that age, I was actually a goalkeeper. I was the best goalkeeper in soccer.
Yeah.
I used to watch Power Rangers and all of those kind of cartoons. Like I was a normal
There
kid.
was Power Rangers back in your day.
Yes, not the ones you guys are watching right now.
Okay, okay.
Watch it right now. We had Power Rangers at the time, which was
Mm,
amazing. Um, Somebody saying there's no audio. And let me see.
no audio. On whose side?
On LinkedIn. I don't
Oh,
know what's happening. Oh, okay. Anyway, let me see if I know what the problem is, then we can just continue.
no
It might
problem.
be an issue with StreamYard. Uh, Let me see if I can get. Um, so maybe as I try to get this sorted out, maybe you can just tell people exactly who you are, because some people know who I am. They don't know who you are. Why don't you
Oh
just start
yeah,
with so?
sure. Yeah. So my name is Samantha. I'm a psychology student. Am I talking about who I am, like just me, or like how I know you and how we started working together? Everything. Yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
20. I'm 24. I studied psychology and I work in marketing, like digital marketing. So I met Bright through one of my best friends who works for him. Yeah, and we got to talking. I had no idea about cybersecurity. My best friend just used to tell me about it, and I used to tune her out because I was like, "What is this girl on about? What is she talking about?" But the more I took interest, like it actually is quite interesting, and like you learn so much about like how much you put out there. Yeah, and so we talked, we interacted, and then we saw that there was so many ways that we could work together in terms of like mental health, because I don't think that's something that's talked about a lot when it comes to the tech world. And then, of course, with marketing here and there and writing, because those are some of the passions that I have. Yeah, and I'm really excited to be here today.
Awesome. So I think the reason why I also wanted to have this conversation with you is because one, I don't like talking alone and just speaking and blabbering and then alone. I wanted to have a neutral person in the conversation as well so that we can actually get to see I'm
Yeah,
not thinking about this alone. And three, the most important part of things is to also discuss mental health to the tech space. The other day, let me tell you, we're in WhatsApp groups and two WhatsApp groups were having the same conversation when it comes to mental health.
yeah.
And hey, people are having a rough time in this economy right now.
Mhm, mhm.
You saw that there's a post that I saw earlier on, and it was talking about the fact that there are about Britam Holdings received 10,000 applications for 200 positions it advertised last year, pointing out the bare need for raise in for jobs in a high unemployment market.
Yeah,
Um, another company hired 200 people and rejected. So while they hired 200 people, they rejected 9,800 of them, and its headcount grew by only 47 people to reach where they are right now.
yeah,
So the job market is getting harder by the day. So
definitely.
there's some people who I find are really good at what they do, but it's becoming quite difficult for them to be able to get a job, right? But
Yeah.
we'll come to that later. I think we'll come to the career part of things later. I still want us to be able to discuss digital safety. So,
Yes.
whenever you order food, you order your clothes, you order your girly things. What's the first thing you give to the person you order from?
My location, like where I live.
That is one. Two.
Yeah.
What else?
My phone number.
Great.
Um, yeah, I think that's the most common. Your phone number, your location, so that they can do delivery.
Exactly. So those two alone are very important to you. You go to buildings, what's the first thing you put down?
Oh my gosh, your name, your ID number, your email, your so much info, your car, like what's it called? Your number plate. There's so
Yeah.
much that you put down. Yeah.
So with that alone, you technically have been able to sell yourself out in terms of privacy. So
Yeah.
I privacy has become a very important conversation that people need to be aware of. And I try to tell people the amount of information you share around is better what be zoomed out. I don't know what somebody's saying. Yeah. So there are, I mean, you put out your data is we give all of these details. We go to websites, we click on accept cookies, we go
Yeah.
to buildings, we leave our details. So there's always already so much information we put out there about ourselves.
Yeah.
Birthdays, we are posting happy birthday, we posting details out there. And it's become a stage where maybe that they are what you call data brokers. So data brokers basically collect those data and
Yeah.
in ways that they can actually use them against you sometime. So they are brokers. They make it more nice and visual for people to be able to see. I'll see if I can actually do a short demonstration of that, and we just see. So that information is out there. It means that we need to be actually, if you want to be really private, it becomes quite difficult. How to call it, to be able to do that. I'm seeing
Yeah.
Alex is like a bit controversial. I don't mind having my data out there that I can control. I don't mind training a model to better be serving me and people knowing what I'm about. And hey, in case of seeing that future happens, they will know I was always cool with them. Alex already giving out his information, hoping that when Terminator happens, he'll be actually be the one to be saying
Mhm.
he's cool with them. But the thing is, we are looking at the fact that all that information we're giving out there, somebody can take them. Your phone number alone can actually go give somebody access to who you are because of Truecaller. So
Yeah.
Truecaller tells them your details, and the first thing we do is we we give out the Truecaller details connect to what's the word, email. Email has a lot about us. So I want people to try this. Do you know if you go to my activity.google.com, it basically tells you details about you? Yeah, I think that
Got
maybe
better?
yeah, much better. Way, way better. Good. So when you go to my activity.google.com for Android users, it basically gives, oops, gives the
Sorry.
details about you. No
Yeah.
worries. Fix. People, where you have been. There's also what you call Google Timeline. And Google Timeline basically gives out all of those details about. Do you know how it tells you how fast you were driving, when you started walking, if you're flying, it tells you, and it puts all of that on a timeline. So if somebody gets access to your email, they basically have
Yeah.
access to our life, you know. And I'm thinking, how many times do we actually leave that on? Or when we go to somewhere, say, um, you know, when you go to somewhere like, say, a Google page or somewhere we've gone to, we comment on a picture that we've taken for that place. So there are a lot of details that we give out there, and data
Yeah.
brokers will obviously keep picking up and buying. Now, why do you think your data gets to be sold?
I have no idea why.
you know, so Chantal is saying your timeline is off. You are the one of the few people who actually have the timeline off. Mine is always on because for me, for security reasons, I share that with my wife just for her to
Mm.
know where I've been. So where this information is being stored is on Telegram. So
Yeah.
Telegram has access to all of those details, and there are more data brokers who actually keep on buying stuff like that. So it's becoming a very interesting time that people will buy anything they want. They will be able to actually take the information that they can find anywhere and able to do that. Now, when we ever go on links, I don't know if you know this, but every time you go on website and you click on accept, everything that comes on your screen, you're accepting links, you click on them, you you basically are giving the power to the browser or whichever website that is to be able to get anything about you. So with that, those details I'm talking about, the fact that um, your location is embedded in some of the pages. You are sometimes
Is this when you accept cookies or
cookies.
when you go to links?
So two things. So cookies is one. Cookies basically collect information about you or your browsing activity to make sure that the shopping you're doing for a black shoe or white shoes, it will give you those kind of ads. That's why when you start browsing some websites or pages, you see that your Instagram all of a sudden start telling you these are the other companies that are selling similar shoes. I did that
Yeah.
yesterday for some chair. I wanted to change my my chair, then I I opened one link, which was an ad. All of a sudden, I'm just seeing every page are selling chairs. I'm like, I don't even know if it's legit. So cookies are using that. However, there is sometimes that hackers use that cookie session. A session is the moment of browsing to use that
Yeah.
to be able to log in as you. This is why some of the Instagram accounts get hacked easily. Some LinkedIn accounts get hacked easily. Some other social media accounts get to be compromised easily with some publicly available tools out there. So yes, accept the cookies, but I would say oftenly you have to make sure you can actually clear them when you can. Otherwise,
Yeah.
just the cookies. I know some of you who are here have not cleared the cookies. Even you, Sam. When was the last time you
Yeah.
cleared the cookies?
I don't even know that I've ever cleared my cookies, honestly.
You give them off for so long, and that becomes a very big
Yeah.
problem. Yeah, so I think we need to just start making sure that we take responsibility from ourselves, by ourselves, to be able to make sure that we're safe. Another
Yeah.
thing also is that we click on anything and everything, especially social media. Hackers have found ways where they're able to take over your accounts, take over your details just because of links, and they tell you you have won crypto. And it's sad that the older generation are actually suffering from this a lot more,
Yeah, probably.
because some of our
Mhm.
parents don't even know that their accounts are being compromised just because of a link. I've educated my parents, so I think we need to find a way to actually let this get to our older generation, to know that don't just click on you've won a car for a voucher, you've won
Yeah. A
company.
phone, all these things. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And some of them are so crafty, they actually call you. One guy actually called me the other day, some time back, and so an operation I did on him. He said, "Oh, Daktari." So, first of all, I was caught. Okay, yeah, Daktari, fine. We used
Yeah.
to work at Cellulant together. So he knew I used to work at Cellulant back in the day. This
Mhm.
guy went ahead to say, when you're working at Cellulant, or we had just missed each other, right? So
Yeah.
we missed each other by a short period of time. When I was leaving, he was just getting in, so he knew about me. So he
Yeah.
said his name is Engineer something, and they have a tender for a particular university that he wants me to be part of. Sam, do you actually believe that for a moment? And I was like, wait.
I mean, because they're getting so much more smart with how they approach these things, honestly.
Exactly. He got all
Yeah.
of that information from LinkedIn. So he knew exactly what date to say I left cellular.
Mm,
And so I went ahead with the conversation, and he said, "Oh, could you, we have a tender, we want to work with your company. If you don't mind, I can send you the details." So I said, "You know what, send it to me." He
yeah.
sent me, how do you call it? What's this called? This tender documents for what's the name? I forgot it right now. They do a lot of tenders. And I went through it. I actually applied for, and I was about to apply for it, and I said, no. Look at the website. Most university will have .ac.ke, not
Yeah.
.ce. So I was able to pick it up so fast. But I said, you know what? I'm going to go on with this particular session to this moment to see how far it will go. So we actually
Yeah.
went on with it. Basically, I was supposed to pay 5,000 shillings to how do you call it, secure a spot in the tenders. Sam, I know 5,000 is a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
It's
not
a lot.
small money.
It's
Hmm.
not small, but I still went through. I really wanted to see how far this would go. And later he
Yeah.
told me, he even sent me a receipt. The receipt he sent me was from an online stamp website. He actually bought a premium account, so he's able to actually do a
Yeah.
proper stamp. So these cyber criminals have also invested exactly in the kind of things that we don't ever seem to think they would do.
Yeah.
He sent me the details. I said, okay, I'll respond to the tender. He's like, you know what? For us to be able to get the job, we need to be able to actually send about 80,000 Kenya shillings to send 20K to about 4 people for us to be able to get that gig. I said, what? What if I can? And then we get to be paid right after we win the tender, after the committee meets in the afternoon. Do you
Okay.
know? I said, you know what? I only can send you the money if you fill a Google form that I'll send to you. That Google
Yeah.
form, I laced it with a malware, and he actually put his real details. So I said, I got his location. I said, I know where you are. The gate of your house is red. And because I was
Okay.
hoping, and that link, when you open the link that I send you, you have to click share location. If you don't share, it won't give me the details.
Yeah.
So he clicked on it, and I'm like, on Google Maps, your house is red. It's an open source tool that I use, and he's like, even if you send cops, I'm also a cop anyway. You can't get me. Can you imagine?
That is so interesting. So for people who aren't as educated as you and like aren't able to spot these things immediately, like what are some things people can look for, like small like anomalies where they'll be like, okay, this is someone who's actually trying to steal my data, or like what are things people can be looking out for?
If it's too good to be true, check again.
Mm.
If it's an email that has come to you, look at the details of how the email has come to you. Like somebody has talked, Trevor Bryan has talked about fake job links on LinkedIn. By the way, I almost fell for that also before. Somebody said we should do a Web3 challenge for crypto wallet creation and on blockchain. And we
Yeah.
actually went ahead. After we wrote the code, later I went to talk to the person. I'm like, oh, why do I send the email for the assignment to be able to actually be given the role? Can you
Yeah.
imagine that does not exist? And this was
Eh,
last year,
mhm.
and I'm
It's encouraging
experienced.
to know. Yeah, exactly. It's encouraging to know someone like you can also sometimes fall for these things.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
experienced. Basically, was actually able to fall for that. So um, it happens to everybody. But the best of us, we just have to be a little bit more vigilant. So is somebody share some of the tools you use to secure yourself? Yeah, I'll share some of those, Jordan. So it basically happens to us. So that person, I mean, we check in your email to find grammatical errors. But these days, imagine grammatical errors are not really there because of ChatGPT being able to write for you a perfect email to impersonate.
Yeah.
These cyber criminals are also learning to be able to actually do prompt engineering. So they're able to write really good emails. So, and there are way too many ways to be able to do that. So, those are some of the basic things. The other thing, like I said at the beginning, was let's clear cache, like clear cookies as
Yeah.
often as possible. And let me show you. It's a place called How Strong Is My Password?
Do
How strong?
the when you're clearing your cookies, is there
Yeah,
anything specific you usually use, or you can just do it on your laptop, like on your browser history and stuff?
both a laptop and phone.
Mm.
Both
Okay.
laptop and phone. So I clear on both of those. So if you go to how strong is my password, you basically can actually check the strength of your password. How
Yeah.
secure. So I've shared the link in the chat. It helps you to be able to just see what are the basic things you need to do to check the strength of your password. And it's a thing we don't do often. So this is part of a series that I've started of trying to make sure that we are all safe. And I'll be basically be sharing a lot of those, how do you call it? A lot of those safety tips. I wrote a few on LinkedIn. I'll keep on doing a few more, especially phishing. Phishing, not the normal kind of phishing, but the phishing that phishing attacks. It
Yeah.
is the entry level to get into organizations, and a lot of people are falling for it. It's getting quite difficult for people to actually even notice some of them. Because Sam, I can force an email from you to anybody
Yeah.
here, and anybody
Which is
can dare me
crazy.
to private
Yeah.
chat, and we can do it right now.
I think it would be really cool to show them, because when he was showing me, I was in disbelief that that is actually something that people can so easily do.
Yeah, so we can actually spoof emails very nice and easy, and it's becoming difficult. The tools that are able to allow you to do that, which makes it very difficult for people to notice. So I tell people double check, triple check, quadruple check if you have to. Call the person you think sent the email, because somebody in Kenya actually lost about £1 million.
Million
Because,
pounds.
yes, not Kenya shillings.
Hey, how come? What happened?
Because hey, that one. If I start sharing that information and the person's family is here, I'll be prosecuted.
Oh, fair enough.
Mhm.
Someone is
But
asking is if there's an automate clearing for cookies, because sometimes people can
there's
obviously
some
get lazy.
There's some browsers that can do that. But again, how
Okay.
many of us close our browsers every time we finish browsing? We never close them.
Yeah.
I can bet 200 shillings, okay, $200, that 80% of the people who are streaming right now have more than 5 browser types which are still open, and they've never closed them for the past 1 week. So it's a good practice to be able to actually clear them or close them when every time you close them, it actually clears. So that's basically some of the things. Another one which I think bothers me a lot. I don't know if you heard
Mhm.
about these crypto scams.
I have some of them. Yeah.
And people think you can make quick money, but if you've been told you can make 100% on your cash that you deposit, will you go for it with good
No.
marketing?
With good marketing, I mean, probably a lot of people would.
Yeah, and it's happening to a lot of people silently in Kenya. There are a lot of Kenyans who have been doing
Yeah.
that. They are losing money. One, it comes off as trading. They tell you you can trade on a platform and be able to actually make that money in the next 24 hours. They have very nice looking websites. Those websites look so beautiful. They look like
Yeah.
they look like you're actually browsing. And we've been discussing this in so many groups, in the blockchain groups and everything. There's a list. Chantal, I don't know if you remember this. She's there. We had a list to be shared.
Mm.
Many crypto scams have been happening. We call that pig butchering. Well, that's one of the things. They
Big.
feed you so much,
Yeah.
so you actually believe it. And guess what? Next thing you know, you lose all that cash because they show you nice website showing that your money is growing. In fact, they let you withdraw the first time.
Hmm.
You can withdraw money the first time. You can actually
And
take it
then
to the
after
next.
that,
It's gone. It's gone. The website shuts down.
yeah. Gosh.
And it's a very social engineering technique which a lot of people fall for. Social engineering basically means hacking the human brain. A lot of people fall for it, and it's quite sad. I think we can take a few questions before we jump to the next part of things, which will be career in cyber or career transition in cybersecurity. Steven is saying guilty. Hey, Steven, can you tell us what happened?
Mhm.
Any questions from anybody? How confidential is a site to check password strength? Trust none, verify everything. Ha ha ha. Yes, yes, Ibrahim. Yes, I don't trust every website. I don't put my real password in that site. I put something that is close to it to be able to actually see what it's all about. Mine says it will take 4 million years to crack. If you go to this website saying, have I been pwned? I'll put that link there. So have I been pwned is a website that can basically tell you if your account has been compromised at multiple places. And if you check, there's a possibility that a third party has been compromised and your password is out there for you to get.
Yeah.
There are websites that can actually bring out details as to where the password has been lost, and they can find the password in Telegram groups, their website that harvests all that data. So people are actually doing quite a lot out there.
Yeah.
So
True.
yeah.
Someone has
No.
asked a
Mhm.
question. How about browsing in incognito? Does it store cache?
Yeah. So incognito melody is basically it's meant to help you not to. Is a question. It's meant to help you not to keep all of those details. So yes, you can do that, but you just will. Oh, sorry, wrong. It just will not make it easy for anybody to, it doesn't give you a browsing experience that you want to do
Yeah.
next time. And if it's a website you don't want to, then it's fine. You know what? One of the hacks that I have a different browser for different things. So my banking browser is not the same that I use for my normal everyday browsing. I just switch. And I like to keep everything as a password manager. So password managers basically help you to keep your passwords safe
Yeah.
in a place that is very easy to have. This is a very interesting one. I was working for a particular employer where we did a lot of shipping. People were always already familiar with the process. We started receiving messages from fake digital accounts claiming to be DHL. Contacting the company about receipt and other details, I eventually realized the accounts were fake because the email addresses didn't match the official titles. This is even happening to people who are not working as employees at your company. For LinkedIn user, is actually going to people where they are receiving saying that there's an order coming, and these hackers are just trying any number, anything and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So basically, they're trying to find out how can they get to see who will click, who will give it, who will do all of that. Yeah, I can see Nad from Twitter say, "Oh, X." I'm so old. Funny side story. Read about the owner of Hawaii Bin Pawn successfully fished recently. Oh my God. So you see, somebody
Mm.
as skillful as him who's helping us out there has also been fished. So it's quite interesting. So I want to
Um,
jump to the other part or part two of this series tonight, which is about career transition in cybersecurity. Sam, have you ever wanted to become a cybersecurity engineer?
who me?
Hmm.
Oh, personally, the more and more I learn, the more I'm like, yes, probably that's something I definitely want to do.
After all the work we've done together, I think now you should be convinced.
I am. No, honestly, I am. It's not as intimidating as people like think that it is. I think before I used to think, "Oh, you need to be the smartest person, you need to be able to code, you need to be able to do so many things that I obviously didn't have the requirement, I mean the qualifications for. So I was like, yeah, I don't think it's for me.
Okay, I think you've
Yeah.
preempted even what I'm about to talk about because there are actually so many jobs in cybersecurity that does not need coding.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are many kind of jobs, and I think I'll just highlight a few of them. So when getting into cybersecurity or cyber resilience or cybersecurity as a career, I tell people to look for something that is entry level, the entry level jobs that can get you in, get your foot in the door, and then you can see how you want to basically, move up the ranks to become a different person. Everybody needs an entry level part of things.
Yeah.
Some people become so good that they don't even get entry level to be able to get there. So we have what we call an information security analyst. An analyst basically is monitoring networks, vulnerabilities, trying to investigate
Mm,
things, trying to see, you know, um, sometimes they will even try to develop some strategies or helping basic users with security procedures, their products and everything to be able to make sure that they're secure. But that security analyst, there's also another somebody who can be security specialist. Very similar in the roles, very similar in what they do, but um, it's very important that people understand that they all have different roles. If some organizations are so big, you need to segregate every single kind of role in the organization, right?
yeah.
There's some people where you have an application security engineer. So this application security engineer is focusing on just specifically application security, trying to reverse engineer, trying to be able to actually break the application that organization. For example, I used to be an application security engineer when I was at Cellulant back in the day. So every
Yeah.
application that's creating, I'm trying to break it, trying to find out vulnerabilities. I'm trying to set up methodologies to actually prevent other hackers from being able to actually get into it. There are people who will get to do digital forensic, for example. It's not the easiest for me. Like I don't like digital forensics, but I do it if there's a need. But there's some people, there's a friend of mine called Raymond. Raymond specializes in just digital forensics. So they're basically trying to see how can they find out what happened in a particular scenario. They're trying
Yeah.
to do reverse engineering of some of them. They're trying to see if they collect artifacts, how can they be able to find out exactly an occurrence of things over a period of a particular period of a timeline?
Mhm.
It's a very interesting role. And let me tell you, do you
Why,
know the
why isn't
report?
it for you though?
Pardon?
Why don't you like it? Why don't you like it?
Is tiresome. It's a lot of work.
Oh,
Sometimes you even have to do what they call imaging. So you create an image or state of the computer hard drive or system. Then you go now comb through everything. And somebody tells you, we lost money at this time. There's a amount of money that was stolen by Samantha. The Stanley was also logged in, but Enoch
mm,
was logged in, was able to actually move an amount of money or deleted data. We call them snapshots. So they're snapshots, basically. Thanks to Rocky. Snapshots of those moments, and you have to comb through all of that. Can you imagine? You have
yeah,
to write a report and make sure a C-level person is able to understand the chronological order of things, and you are supposed to be able to actually get people understanding. So it's not easy. I think it's too
mm,
much work for me,
I hear
but
you.
some people actually thrive in being able to actually do that. I'm seeing so many questions coming in. I don't know if I should take a pause and answer them before we go on. What do you think?
um, I think so. I think we can answer them, and then now we continue.
Hmm. Okay, so Stephen is saying, what is HTTPS and why is it more secure than HTTP? Well, Stephen, even though I know some of these are Google questions, but we have to answer them since it's an AMA session. HTTPS is a secure version of HTTP in terms of the traffic between you, I mean, the browser and where you're getting to is actually more secure. However, some people, or rather hackers these days, or cyber criminals, actually will serve you an HTTPS website. So don't be fooled to have anybody even have HTTP. They're not going to do that anymore. They're actually going to give you an HTTPS website for you to be able to actually work with. Stanley said, I've noticed that when applying for jobs, some some websites request for you to request for some really sensitive data like ID number, date of birth, physical addresses. How can we distinguish between legitimate data collection and data overreach? And what are the red flags to watch out for? So, Stanley, not every company or not every website that actually collects your data is actually going to secure them. This is why you need to actually have some sort of terms and conditions to agree to that they will keep your data safe. You have the right to be able to actually prosecute them if they collect your data and actually misuse them. Look at some of the betting companies, some of the loan companies, some of the banks asking for this detail. If they get breached, you actually are supposed to be able to get paid. Some international companies get to be breached and your data gets to be leaked. And guess what? We in Kenya, we never actually ask for money to be paid. People in the
Yeah,
States actually get to ask for them to be paid because of a data breach that has happened. So I think we're the ones who don't know the process. We need to get better lawyers to be able to get us involved in some of those. Should hacking gadgets be permitted in countries like that? If Flipper Zero, Rabadaki, Wi-Fi, Pineapple, Enoch, people buy them. People like me, we buy them for research, while some people buy them to use it for bad things. So it depends on the country's law, which will basically determine or differentiate between if it should be permitted or not. Um, so somebody's asked, could you please recommend any good password manager app? So wait, sorry. Password manager apps. I like Bitwarden. Password manager. I'm Googling actually. So I like Bitwarden a lot. Bitwarden is what I like. I don't like LastPass just because I did not have a good experience with them. There is Dashlane as well. There is, what's this one called? Wait, I have it here. I have it here. I have it here. But it's a corporate. Jump Cloud. Yeah, Jump Cloud is one of my favorite. So Jump Cloud is more for corporate, but the corporate version of how do you call it? Bitwarden as well. So if I want to share password with a client, I don't even share password by texting them. I basically use Jump Cloud, not Jump Cloud, Bitwarden to send them a link, and they use that link to basically decrypt and open the file, the password. So if I send it to you, Samantha, only you can
mm-hmm.
see it. So if it gets to leak at a point in time, then I don't think it's my fault. So we
Yeah,
basically
true.
make sure that we give it to people who are actually authorized to be able to get that. So it's very difficult to be able to get to know the particular websites, if they're legitimate or not. You can test them, you can check their legitimacy by doing a few checks.
Yeah,
Some websites. Oh, so my battery's about to die soon. Um, but the thing is, it's very difficult unless you do security assessment. There's a
yeah,
website, imagine, where it's a crypto scam. The only easiest thing I did was I copied the company name, then I put scam at the end, and it gave me everything about them.
yeah.
The scam advisor, there's a lot of websites.
There's so
Let me
many
see.
different tools,
The
honestly,
tools,
that you could
the
be
tools are
using.
many. Tools
Yeah.
are many. I think I'm gonna do another session. We just go through that, and the likes. So I think I also want to get back to the career part of things. So looking at all of those job posts and everything, IT auditors are there. There's governance, risk, and compliance. That is where you don't get to do, a lot of um, technical roles. So it's not technical at all. You basically can be able
Yeah.
to do without it, and you can go ahead with to be able to get roles in that. I see a lot of ladies who take up this role. I don't know why. I don't know if men are scared. Yeah, I don't know. I find more that role, and then we have what to call a system penetration tester or application penetration tester. So these are
Yeah.
people who actually understand how an offensive security works. So if you go to be able to actually break some of these systems, you have to find a way to be able to protect it. So you know how the offensive works, you get to be able to be defensive. So
Yeah.
this is some of the roles I can say are the quickest or top kind of roles that we can see. Now, Sam, this is where I want you to come in. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
people who want to get into these roles are very young. They have worked so hard. And I think before we even get to review CVs and the likes later, people are confused that am I even good of a person to be able to get for these jobs? Can I
Yeah.
talk? I don't know how to talk. I don't know how to get into this. And this is where, and I find some people also, I think, I don't know, maybe some of the audience can let us know. They become lonely in this space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Because it's not
true.
an
Very
easy
true.
job. I don't know what you think when it comes to the mental health part of life,
Yeah.
especially for techies, not just in cybersecurity. I'm talking about generally. I don't
General
know what
techniques.
things because you've talked to some of them, you've heard them, you've seen what is going on. Um, what do you think? As I plug in my charger, 1 second.
Yeah, no issue. So I was doing some research. Obviously, I've gotten to interact with a lot of techies since meeting Bright and his team. But even just in general, like some of the research I did, 1 in 3 techies, tech professionals report burnout as one of their major challenges.
Okay.
Another thing that a lot of them feel is anxiety, imposter syndrome, which you just talked about. And there's a lot of isolation that happens with techies. So are there like which one specifically or which emotions would you say you've experienced, like because you've been working in the tech world for a really long time?
Hey, I think sometimes not being able to share
Hmm.
what you're thinking because something you have not even imposter syndrome is just the fear of I'm going to be judged
Yeah.
um, by what I say or what I know or what I don't know. And I think this is something someone shared with me the other day. He's like, Bright, I feel like you know so much. If I can't talk to you, it's a failure because who am I? And I'm like,
Mhm.
no. I
Yeah.
believe a lot of people who I have mentored are showing me things right now that I never ever knew. I learn more from them. So
Yeah.
that and burnout.
Burnout. And have is it do you think it's more common with like the younger people you're saying who are working really hard and trying to get into these positions, or do you think it's like across the board with all techies, like it's something that everyone probably experiences?
I think mostly the younger ones.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the older ones, sometimes they get comfortable in a job, so they don't really get to, it doesn't phase them. But some, it becomes also difficult. You know, when they start raising a family, you need to look for money.
Yeah.
And when that money is not getting sufficient enough, or you're not able to live that life, it becomes quite difficult for you to, you know, live to that standard. Or, and then society as well. I don't know what you
Yeah.
think. How do you even deal with burnouts? Because man, it's a lot, and I think a lot of young techies, developers, and cybersecurity engineers, name them, are all suffering from crazy, crazy burnout. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah. I think honestly, the best way, or some of the ways I saw or think that people can deal with them, especially the younger ones who are struggling more than the more experienced people are, would definitely to encourage yourself to take breaks. I think breaks are important and healthy. It's easy to like, overwork yourself and do a lot because you're just starting out. And like you said, you're trying to make money, you're trying to provide for your family. But taking breaks, I think, is really important. And then I think peer support and community is really important. I think being around people who kind of understand what you're going through, like who can sympathize, who you can be able to talk to, like you said, is it's really important. I don't think in any career you should be like operating from a place like by yourself, but like building community on something like what you've built with Africa Hackon, I think is quite important.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
because the burnout part of things is a bit, it can be a bit much, and we sometimes don't even know exactly where we lie, because you're trying to juggle a lot of things. It
Yeah.
would be, taking the breaks is nice. Sometimes you also want to travel, and then there's no money for you to travel. So you're
Yeah.
fighting multiple problems at the same time. I don't know what, maybe some of the guys in the audience can even comment on this. I see a lot of people also working so hard, and getting in the job space is becoming very difficult. Do you know why, Sam? You see a job advertisement saying this is an entry level job, yet
Yeah.
they're asking for so much, which nobody has ever had an experience. So there's a certification called CISSP. It's hard.
Yeah.
Well, depending on who you are, it takes usually about 3 or 4 years sometimes, or some people 2 years who are geniuses to be able to actually take that course.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes they're asking for that in an entry level job. So I find it also is a problem of people who are hiring, organizations who are hiring, not knowing exactly what they're hiring for.
Yeah.
Sometimes you
Yeah.
all those adverts, and somebody is like, "But if I don't have the experience, but you're looking for an entry level job, where am I going to find experience?" You know,
Yeah. True. Exactly. Where am I getting the experience from if you're not
exactly.
aligning with?
So it
Yeah.
becomes very
Yeah.
difficult that nobody is able to even break in that whole space
Yeah.
of things. So I tell people, if you're breaking into cybersecurity, which is the one I know very easily,
Mhm.
you need to start looking at building your CV, in which we're going to look at CVs in a few ways that you can actually do things on the side to be able to make you relevant. Because hey, you go through some CVs and somebody says, I am good at this, but there's nothing to show for it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I don't know.
What are some of the ways over the years? Like, what are some of the things you've done, or some of the like avenues you've taken to help yourself in terms of mental health when it comes to the tech world?
I used to have a difficult time separating myself from work. So I might go to the club and I have my laptop in the car, in someone's car, and not even my car.
Mhm.
And I'll start
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
because I'm quick to respond to emails. I'm quick to respond to issues that are happening. Fire is burning, and we are looking at some of those details. Times I was basically overworking myself, and the thing is this: you're replaceable. The moment you drop sick today, somebody is going to replace you, right?
Yeah.
Somebody will replace you at work. So when you get to be replaced, it becomes very difficult for you to actually. I mean, somebody will replace you if you're dead, if you drop dead tomorrow. They'll look for a new
Mhm.
replacement. They'll
Yeah.
mourn you today for 1 week. Next week, your job has been advertised, and you're basically being asked for who can replace this person. So I got to prioritize when I can pick up calls, when I can reply messages, when I need to take a break. Like weekends, I don't want to pick up work wise,
Work
unless,
related. Yeah.
yeah, unless a client has a problem that I
Mhm.
basically need to, being able to, how do you call it, jump in, and it's an emergency. And
Yeah.
there, I can, but I always tell my team, if it's weekends, please try to just take a break. Take Detach yourself from the laptop and everything. Can you imagine?
Mhm.
I asked people some time back what they do for fun in terms of break. Guess what?
Yeah.
Just give me. Guess what they told me that they do.
Drink. Or like or
No,
go
no,
out
no.
with friends, maybe.
Do you think alcohol is a good resolve for people
No.
to take breaks?
No, no, no. You
I thought
can't
you did.
say that. Yeah, it's really like it doesn't make any sense to be like, oh, when I'm taking a break or when I'm trying to like, slow down, the thing that I'm turning to is alcohol or the thing that I'm turning to is going out. I think it needs to be a real break. Like take a day, go walk in some nature, hang out with people that make you feel good. Like I don't think alcohol and break go together in my opinion at all.
I think in the mental health space of things,
Yeah.
some young people express that their circle of friends is for drinking. So drinking is what helps them to be able to actually detach from work, which I don't think. I know people drink and everything, but they overdo it. That the entire weekend is wasted. So I
Yeah.
agree with you. Being able to take a break from going to do, um, get to what's it called, get one with nature. I like to walk in the grass, like literally if I take a step in the grass it feels nice to
Yeah.
just play with my kids, taking a drive, go to the
Yeah.
supermarket, even if you're not buying anything, just
Yeah.
to get a
Because
video game.
eventually you become dependent on, alcohol. Like
Yeah,
every time you're having a hard time, you turn to alcohol, and then that becomes a whole other problem on its own. So I definitely never encourage alcohol to be what you look for when you're trying to take a break or like help with burnout and stuff like that.
yeah. I've seen some of the comments that say video gaming, entertainment, camping, is some of the things that people can do outdoors and socializing, anything to disconnect from the
Yeah.
computers.
I saw an
Um,
interesting question that
yes.
I think I will refer to you because I feel like you've been in the space for a long time. Let me see if I can find it. There was someone asking about mental health and women in the tech world because she
Yeah.
feels that women really have to work extra to prove themselves. Is that something that you've seen, like when you've been in the space for as long as you have, or do you think it's kind of the same in terms of struggle, both for men and women?
Hey, I'm going to touch on that right now. And just before that, I saw this question from Stephen Marcia. From experience, it's good to take a proper break and avoid fake breaks, where you check work messages, talk to someone, maybe a close friend or a mentor, audit your workload, separate urgent from versus important. That's very important. Urgent versus what? Important.
Yeah,
I
true.
think everything is urgent, and everything will always forever be urgent. So Sam, one of the people that how do you call it? Like one of the companies, my company guys that have shared CyberGuard Africa, we are now having a lot more women in the team than
Yeah.
men. And all the ladies exceptionally do well. I know some of them are here watching. They do such an amazing job. And I try to when we are doing people are bidding, when we're doing jobs, because some of them are consultants, get to be paid equally the same as the men as well. It is true that we have seen this discussion happen that women in tech seem to be able to actually get to prove. They try to, or rather, they seem that they have to prove themselves a lot more. But let me tell you
Yeah.
something. Most women
Mhm.
at sometimes actually do better than the men. The
Yeah.
dedication and everything. But we need to stop that notion of women have to work twice as hard or three times as hard just to become
Just have,
better.
yeah.
If you
Yeah.
look
A
at
hundred
in a
percent.
cyber world, most of the chief information security officers for majority of the big companies are women,
Yeah.
and they're the ones leading. So I think we need to I want ladies to know they need to stand firm in exactly what they do, knowing what they're doing, being able to make sure that they can put their foot forward and say they're good at this and take charge, and not accept just what the kind of bullying. There's a company that
Mhm.
I tried to work for. I actually had to quit because of women being looked down upon. I couldn't
Yeah.
take it. So it happened
And is it
for,
is it is it something that is very common in the tech world, or do you think it's something that's slowly improving
I
in
think,
terms of
across
women
the
being
board,
looked down?
and in the tech world, I've seen it happen a lot. And that
Yeah.
particular place, for 1 month, I heard rumors. Month two, more rumors. Month three, I'm seeing it in front of me. I'm like, hey, okay. So I tried to interject,
Yeah.
and I couldn't just wait and watch. I tried to interject some time. Fourth month, I'm like, no, this is not going to happen. And I saw the toxicity was now to everybody, not just the women. But got to a point, the day women were being shouted at and everything in meetings and in front of people, I just said, look, you know what? I'm out. I
And it
walked
was
out.
a situation where the men were not being like shouted at or all this. It was just happening to the women.
Both were being shouted at, but the women more.
Mm.
When
Yeah.
somebody tells you you are nothing, I can
Mm.
make you. I brought you here. I can take you out. It's
Mm.
just it doesn't make sense. And that
Yeah.
day, I actually stood up to that person, and I said, look, it's just you can't do this to people just because you feel like you're a top person here. So
Yeah.
I basically, I try to fight, but sometimes I just tell people, look, when it's becoming too much, get out.
Yeah.
Just get out.
Definitely.
So I left. A lot of us left. Company eventually shut down because obviously that wasn't going to happen. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah. The other thing which I wanted to just find out from you, from mental health perspective, what do you think? I mean, the economy is hard right now, which will take us to the career transition part of things. What do you think we should now start doing? I think young people are stressed, and they're
Yeah.
doing pretty a lot of work, but they're not getting seen. They're not getting able to do anything about it. What do you think we should start looking out for?
I think it's really important to start finding communities like networking, especially for the younger people. Like even how I met you was through like networking. I think
Yeah,
like just putting ourselves in situations like that give us an advantage. So just getting into these communities like Africa Hackon, other tech communities, like because I think it relieves a lot of the pressure when you're around people, like who are doing the same thing as you, who are at the same stage as you. So I think it's important to have community, 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 community.
awesome. Yeah, Africa Hagon community. I'm gonna share the WhatsApp group for Africa Hagon. We
The
will
Africa
get.
Hackathon community, guys, is amazing. Like I've got to witness it firsthand, and I was so impressed. It's such a beautiful community.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for that. I mean, the community has grown from where it has been 13 years ago that we started this. It's been an amazing, amazing, amazing time at Africa Hackon. And now that we have something which people might be interested in, which
yeah,
is the academy. Because I'm seeing a lot of people asking, how do I get into cybersecurity? But just on top of that, what you mentioned is also being able to actually have some person that you can talk to, a buddy.
yeah.
Now, I don't want your thought processes when it comes to mentorships, because some people tell me, Bright, you're my mentor, be my mentor. And I said, sometimes I can't be a mentor to everybody. It's quite
Mm,
difficult to be able to handle multiple people at the
mm,
same time. So I tell people my focus is at one particular place right now. So it's good to find people in the WhatsApp groups, in the Discord channels, for various groups that are out there. I know there's a Back Bounty KE as well. I'm going to find the link to chat if they're
Yeah, and
here.
maybe get mentors who also like are able to relate to you, because sometimes the gap may be so big. Like I feel like getting people who kind of are able to relate and are not so far from you in terms of where they are at, I think is also kind of important.
Because there's mentorship and then there's life coaching. And they're two
Yeah.
a bit too different sometimes. So being able to get a mentor and being able to actually, get somebody to guide you in that space is quite a thing that we need to be able to just look for ways to see identify people in the group, ask somebody to help you, talk to them, ask somebody
Yeah.
to just chat. Somebody who is talking about a particular topic a lot in your tech group can be the person who can get you to the next level. You never know.
Yeah.
There's some people. There's one guy in the group the other day. I posted a job. He DM'd me and said, "This is how good I am. I've been able to actually present. I can do one, two, three, four. I'm not the
Mhm.
best, but I know I can do A, B, C, D." And he showed me his CV. Quickly, I went through it and I told him, the job that you're applying for, you haven't indicated the details of the keywords are not there, which I think we're going to come to
Mm.
about a CV writing. So when
Yeah.
I posted those job links, which even today I shared two job links, and I'm about to post about five more for SAP.
Yeah.
I realized some people don't know how to represent themselves. So and then you get depressed by you not being able to be picked, and it's okay to actually apply for a job and not get it. When I was leaving when I finished my PhD, Sam, did you know I applied to more than 60 jobs?
More than 60. My
More than
gosh.
60. And I'm
Mm.
like, one of the major issue was I got a PhD at 28. So a lot of people are
Yeah.
like, you're too young. So if you're going to pay you X amount of money right now, I don't know how that's going to work.
Mhm.
So it was quite difficult to be able to actually get a job because I was too young at the time. And that got me into a crazy depression for a moment,
Yeah.
that I didn't know how to handle that. So it's quite
Mm.
it's quite difficult to be able to, you know, um, get into that part of things. Oh, I forgot to
Yeah.
show this. Yeah,
I'd love if like Nyambura and like some of the women in the tech world could also like, tell us how they deal
yeah,
with their stress, their burnout. Because I can't particularly say because I don't work in tech, but I'd love to know. Sorry to call you out, Nyambura. I had to do it,
yeah.
but some of
Indira,
you, yeah,
Jackie,
let us
Chantal,
know.
Myra is here. Myra Jarenga.
Yeah.
I've heard it
But
on
even
audio.
the men, I mean, even the men can share like some of the ways they deal with the burnouts, the depression, like you're saying, that comes with all these job search. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd love to
it'd be great,
see.
guys. Please comment, share some of your views. We are 451 people out here streaming live right now. Will be
Yeah.
great to just hear what you're thinking, as we can post some of them. Um,
Mhm.
so are you posting the links here as well? How can I get to communities? I've shared already.
I
I'm
think if
looking.
they're looking for the links, they can always go to your pages, no? Like your LinkedIn. Or where
Yeah.
would they be able to find them outside of the chat?
So for the WhatsApp group, we've made it a little bit not exclusive. Oh, there's one more. Let me share for how do you call it? Back Bounty KE. Oh, there's actually something called Back Bounty KE. So Back Bounty is basically you legally finding bugs in systems, in organizations that you've been invited in or have been made public, and you get paid for it. People
Yeah.
are making money. The only company I know for now in Kenya who has that is Safaricom. So Safaricom is the only one who has, how do you call it, that Back Bounty KE. I know a lot of people have requests to join. Kindly give me some time. We will accept them. So it takes because I am alone here. So for now. So there are those there. So Back Bounty KE does an amazing job by having sessions. They talk about, how to be able to get into back bounty, the issues they find are quite a lot. Um, they and there's a lot of sharing there. There can be noise in WhatsApp groups. Sam, I don't know if you have some
Yeah.
where they're just people who are Mr. Know It All.
Yeah. Definitely seen that.
How do you filter out those people? I don't know how to handle some of those people.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to mute some of them or mute the groups.
Hey, but now it's an important group, and if you don't speak, these groups usually by the way we actually remove people after some time. If you don't speak for a while, we just remove you. So we run an algorithm that actually checks how often you talk. So after like say, you know, um, after like say 2 3 months you're not speaking,
Mm.
we actually get out. I'm seeing
Review them.
something. Alex is asking if it's been recorded. Yes, it's been recorded. I'm seeing something here. Read, listen to podcasts, spiritual sermons. Yeah, there's some people who are good listeners to podcasts. Others are
Mm.
good readers. So whatever works for you, I think is a really good point as well. Myra is talking about most of the time I read self-help books. Good. Myra, if you have some to share, please do share in the comments so that we
Please
can
do
actually.
recommend. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's great to just be able to get to share books. People love quiet times. That's another thing. You can
Mhm.
have a quiet time. There's some days I drive to, there's a place in Karen. There's some very nice restaurant in Karen. When I drive there, they're one of your clients there.
Oh, yeah.
So
Fiesta Farm.
Fiesta Farm. I like
Yeah.
Fiesta Farm because Fiesta Farm, I like the way there's a vibe to the trees and everything. Some
Yeah.
people are
That
beach people, some people are bush. I'm a bush person, so I like Fiesta
really
Farm.
okay.
Yeah, I'm a bush person. Imagine.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I feel like I'm a beach person through and through, but Fiesta is
Ah,
so beautiful. Yeah. And finding spaces like that.
I can't stand
Mm.
sitting at the beach for long. It's too much work. I'd rather just stay in the bush, just hoping that it's not in Australia where I'm facing
Yeah.
some animals. Australia is not a real place. I don't think it's a real place.
I don't think it is either. Like some of the videos I say, I know there's no way this is a real place.
Snakes are everywhere. Petrol station, there are snakes. On the road, there are snakes. You get home, there are snakes.
And flying spiders. What do you
Flying
mean? The
spiders.
spiders are flying. Oh my god.
I don't think I want to. I want to go there, but I have to find out exactly which particular state or city that I have to go. I can see Rose is talking about the power of now. It's really good. Thank you
That's a
so.
fantastic book. Yeah. They even
So, but
have like they have the book and like a workbook so that they
hmm,
teach you how to practice the power of now. So if you can find it, that's a really good read.
there's something called deep work, which is something I really love. The importance of deep work. This is something that really helped me when I was doing my studies. Um, when it comes to basically, how do you call it? Getting into to learn something new. I go according to this is a summary of the book, but this will still help you to understand what deep work means. So when I'm getting into deep work, Sam, you will not see me on
Yeah.
social media. I know I post a lot of memes. Yes,
Yeah.
we post
Yeah.
all of that stuff, but I really try to make sure that when I'm in deep work, I can wake up at 3 in the morning, which I do almost every day. Every other day, I wake up 3. I work for like 30 minutes or an hour, and when I'm done, I'm done. No social media, nothing. Sometimes even 15
Yeah.
minutes just to focus on that because I believe anybody can learn anything. And there's something we tried at Africa Hack on as we get to the next topic soon
Mhm.
um, of how do you call it? You can teach anybody. There's a guy who's in this group right now. This guy started off as a face painter. That's what he was doing.
Yeah.
Now he is actually working with CyberGuard because he proved to himself, to us, that he's able to how do you call it, learn from the academy. So the cybersecurity, the Africa Hackon Academy. Please, this cohort 3 is ongoing right now for anybody who wants to join. And it's split into small payments details. So it's able. He learned a lot in those 4 months. Or the first cohort was 4 months, and right now he's doing amazing stuff. Today he shared with me some
Yeah.
great news. I lost. I really love what he was doing. So his name is Joseph. I think Joseph, if you're here, you can comment. Um, Joseph did an amazing. He's now really good at cybersecurity, and I'm seeing him get into one of those top level places where we're not ready for him. Anybody can be taught, and it just suffices if you get the right mentorship, the right guidance, and being able to, just get some level of, understanding of where you want to get to. So he focuses on
Yeah.
that, and yeah.
That's
So
quite encouraging. And I hear a lot of people, like success stories from Africa Hackon, of people who knew nothing about tech and
yep.
then now are doing really well. So
Yeah, Africa Hackon team. We are partnering with a company very soon. I just left a meeting of that this evening, where anybody who goes through the academy will get about 10 to 15 internships right after. The top 15
nice.
students will be getting an internship, paid internship, not free. I
Wow,
know.
yeah.
Another thing. Yeah, so it's a great win for Africa Hackon. We're going to make those announcements very soon. Also, I'm just bringing in news right now before we jump to CV. In
Yeah.
the next minute, we partner with a few other companies. We'll make the announcements also very soon that we are able to partner to get CVs done and take them to a partner company to be able to help us get the word out there when it comes to people who are looking for jobs. So they look for jobs and get you on board. But
Yeah.
what is a good CV? Oh, Groot. That's Joseph. That's Joseph there, who did really good at work out there. So Joseph, kudos to the good work you're doing. I know your future is bright. No pun intended. No pun
You've been
intended.
asked, people have said 3 a.m. How many hours of sleep? Yeah, 3 a.m. is crazy. Which is
I think
also, by the way, not very good for your mental health. You need to be getting enough rest.
so. I think I operate with intervals.
Yeah.
So I can sleep at 11, wake up at 3, go back to bed at 5, wake up at 7. So I struggle sometimes to have a full, but sometimes I black out. But
Yeah.
the whole chamomile tea thing kind of helps sometimes. When I drink that, sometimes I get very easy way of being able to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to jump into how to call it. Victor,
CV.
can I get a scholarship, please? I'm promising good results. I mean, there are criteria we have to follow. We don't just hand out, how to call it, scholarships. So everybody works for it. So I'm going to jump into this part of things where I'm going to share my screen. And it'll be great. Chantal also, I told Chantal she can join in and comment through the comments. And people, this is open. So I want us to be able to look at. Can you imagine, Sam? The first
Yeah.
thing I told people when I was sharing this ad, I told people, please redact your PII. But people still put their
Which
PII,
is, for people who don't know what that is.
personal identifiable information. That means your details. But
Yeah.
there's a positive side to it. Maybe these people, I can contact them easily if I see a job opening for them. Somebody last year in August when we did that, somebody actually got a job because I was reviewing this.
Mm.
Yeah, I reviewed the CV live. I really like his CV, and I told him to contact me I ended up contacting him, and he got a job offer right after that. So we'll pick at random a few things that we can see is wrong with a CV, and a few things that are not. Now, before we even get to start, um, sorry, I'm just timing myself here. So, a resume is basically, a concise version of your CV, which your CV is the full version of things. And we want to be able, you want a recruiter to be able to either when they take it through their systems, they are able to pick up things very easily. I tell people the easiest CV you can ever make is your profile, your LinkedIn, um, your write ups. I technically like to write one or two things or give my opinion about a few things every now and then about what I'm thinking about on LinkedIn. And it's an opinion, right? So that alone can be your CV because people
Yeah.
identify you from there. They're able to contact you. They're able to say, oh, for the fact that you're writing about this, I think you'd be a good person to be able to work with, or do you mind joining our company? So somebody actually reached out to me the other day because of this. Before they even start asking for these documents, there are quite a number. So I'll pick at random just to talk about a few of them. So if I look at the first one here, this person redacted information from this. And if I skim through, I have an AI tool that does this, by the way, which basically can give me a summary of all of this. But I'll look at this. This person has listed a summary of himself, the profile summary, and skimming through this, the person can be a good candidate in terms of the fact that he has ethical hacking skills, capacity building, QA, supervisional skills, all of those. And I look at this, there are relevant things that I'm looking out for. Things like, for the pen testing part of things, he specified that he's good with web applications, network, Android, and APIs. So I can tell this person will be very conversant with the various tools that they've put at the bottom.
Mhm.
They've done threat intelligence, standards, selected skills, professional experience where they used to work at Platcorp. This person also, what? Has talked about a few companies, some certifications that he has done. So some of these information basically gets me to understand that this person has had a bit of experience. The one
Yeah.
thing that I believe is missing from this particular CV, as good as all of these, is something that I see a lot of young people or people who are starting in the cybersecurity space don't do. They've not put projects. You can have somebody who actually has a really good, you know, certifications on paper, but they've not put projects that they've done, then it becomes very difficult for you to be able to actually see them. So I tell people do projects, be able to actually how to call it, represent them in your CV,
Yeah.
resume, saying that I work on this project, or redact the information of the client if that's possible, or redact the information of anything that is sensitive. It can be a security assessment of a hospital system, an insurance system. I don't know, something like that. So for this particular person's CV, there's that part that is missing. The
So it
formatting
needs
as
it. So that's a must to have in your CV when you're starting out, or like
yes,
throughout.
even if it's a project that you've done which is local, like you built your own lab, and I keep on telling people that build your own lab, put something, how to call it, um, build your own lab, be able to actually do something that somebody can work with, can say
Yeah.
that you've done, if you tried a few labs here and there, I don't know. But if you just talk about, and if you've been an intern, or you were attached to somebody's organization and where you did that kind of work, as a person who was supporting, talk about it, describe it, because those projects are really important. So I see a lot of people will say they have a particular skill, but if they don't know how to be able to bring it out, it becomes a problem. The formatting as well can be looked at. as simple as it is, it will pass the ATS systems very nice and easy. But sometimes
Yeah.
we are seeing new formats out there. Um, Active member of this particular, for example, active member of the groups like CTF Room, Perfect Route on Discord, WhatsApp, and X. So on WhatsApp, X, and and the likes. But all of these people have won competitions. We call this a capture the flag. So capture the flag challenges, they bring out a real world hacking scenario and you win.
Yeah.
So if this person did not demonstrate that these are the challenges that because I know Perfect Route have done challenges. I know CTF Room have hundreds of those challenges they've done. CTF Room is also a partner. If guys want to join, I think I'll try and get the link. But the thing is, how do I tell that you're a member? I can't tell. I can't go contact CTF Room or Perfect Route and ask them, is this guy part of your team? So it's really good to actually list the kind of things that you've won, right? I'll talk to or look at maybe something like this one. Collins, this first representation already is good to me. you know I don't know if dark.com is a website really, but I can see details here. LinkedIn, automatically I'll go there, and I like this breakdown of Colin's representation of his cybersecurity as a consultant. So I know that means if I want to hire him either to work with me as a shadow, no, not as a shadow, as a consultant, it's easy to be able to pick him up for things that I can see he's done here.
Yeah.
Then looking at all of these places he's worked before, um, education and training, software developer skills, which makes it easier for me to also know that this person has coding background. Then the thing that I'll be missing here as a consultant, I don't see the industry of clients that he's worked with, because that can be really important to me. So maybe something Collins would have done here is talking about the kind of clients that they've worked with as a cybersecurity consultant. That gives you a bit of weight when trying to talk to this client to understand what you did. So you don't have to mention the name of the company. You basically can just, give a high level. So that's something that is there. I can pick another one. If somebody is someone here and they want to, how do you call it? And they've not redacted the information, I can pick that particular person's CV to review if they're here, and they can chat or they can private chat me their names and I can look for them. Let's go to this one. So SOC monitoring. So even this is something which I like a lot. If I'm looking for security operations center monitoring, which I think is one of the roles that have been addressed already, I'll automatically go for this person because I see SOC monitoring. That's it. There's an AI tool that I have. I'm going to look for it right now. It's a friend of mine who developed it. And when I use it, basically what I do is I automatically look for keywords. So SOC monitoring, it makes it easier for me to go for this person.
Yeah.
Then I look for the details in this threat hunting operations and everything. So yeah, this person is worth interviewing because he's mentioned everything that has to do with what you call a security operations center monitoring, incident response. It's a keywords. So this is a good CV for this particular role, and this is one of the easiest, or not easiest, it's one of the quickest roles that you find a lot of organizations looking up for. Almost every
Yeah.
bank is looking for it. Is looking for such skills, and you see, are you seeing the difference here? Simulated real SOC home lab. This person set up his own lab at home. I will
Yeah.
easily go for this person nice and easy because you know what? He has demonstrated the fact that he has those skill sets. And then he did another lab online. Those things here are the differentiating factor of me hiring him or not. So if this the phone number is here, I will talk to this person actually for the roles that you're looking for. In fact, I need to
Mhm.
make this.
I'll write it down.
Pardon?
No, I've written it
Yeah,
down, the name.
okay. I've downloaded that. And it's also very easy on the eye in terms of representation. So when people are
Yeah.
looking at new CV formats, that's one of the details that I look out for. Um,
The simpler, the better in terms of how they look.
yes, simpler, but not this simple where a picture of you is in the background. Because so this will need a lot of rework in terms of
Mhm.
representation. So for Ian, I will tell him to just change some of these details. Um, so this person is clearly a very good chef because all this experience is very easy. So I think for yeah, oh, this is another thing. I don't know if you've seen this before. Available on request. So sometimes people put the referees, sometimes is not there, which I think is fair. Sometimes you don't want to share confidential details with people, and you don't know what to do with that information because that's again private information, right? So
Yeah.
they can be available on request. This is a good thing. But I like to share my referees because I let them know. Can you imagine some people actually share my name and my number to organizations and said, "Oh, Dr. Bright," and I have absolutely no idea that
Mhm.
that this person
Yeah.
is looking for a job somewhere. I get called by a company in the US. Oh, hi. Do you? This person is applying for this role at this company, and I'm like, I have absolutely no idea. I can't vouch for you because I've been caught off guard.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah, definitely.
people who, yeah, who get to let me know that they're applying for a job. They're going to put my name as a referee. So, and let me tell you, even if I'm driving, which I did before, I parked by the roadside and took proper time to vouch for this person because is I could be the reason between him getting a job or not. So
Yeah.
I'm very particular about that thing. And I think anybody who's looking for a job and you list somebody as a referee, please let them know that they'll get a call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me take another one. This also, and that's security alerts. Um, Also, this needs, is it just me or the formatting? Formatting is really needed here. And please, guys,
Yeah.
use Canva, use some of these tools to basically just bring out a better representation. Like, even if it's this person, ALX VA course, currently pursuing this course, give a description of it. Because this person did not put any details here, I will find it very
Mhm.
difficult to even trust a person to be doing this course entirely. And you see, currently pursuing this course, but that person has put September 2024 to November 2024, meaning you finished. So that means the
Yeah.
CV was updated,
Has not been updated.
has not been updated. Fonts are so many different types. So formatting here is a lot of work. Such small things, I don't know, irritates me just by the look of it, just
Yeah.
naturally. That the CO is here.
Canva has a lot of good templates.
Yeah.
CVs,
So
yeah.
and rework this CV, add details because if you're doing all of you've done all of this work, 2D animation and all of those kind of stuff, it would be great to actually put that there. So that was not a CV I will take in easily. It's really important. So, but I'm not just looking for cybersecurity, but I think a lot of these CVs are cybersecurity related. Let's see. This also is a really good one. Seeing such tools, programming languages, cloud security is another CV that I need to download ASAP because there's somebody who's looking for such skill set as a side job, but there's a side gig.
Mhm.
These are people. So yeah, this is another good CV for me, if you ask me, of people who I will easily look at. Um, and also interning at your university is a big plus. Most people don't do that.
Yeah.
I used to do that, by the way. I basically intern at my school when I was in undergrad, and it was The easiest thing to do. Why did I see that CV? Which one is it? No, I lost it. I just lost that CV. Where was it? Hey, I have to go through all of that. Myra, keywords, key names here. That's good because She Code Africa already applies. Innovation Village, Eat and Go, and this is another technique: being able to highlight the person that you've worked for. Because you see, I'm just by looking at this alone, it gives me some comfort. Cybersecurity course. It's Africa Hackon, not CyberGuard anyway, which is there. And being able to try all of these are things that are good. Maybe Myra, what I'll say is to separate the tools and softwares because you don't want to confuse somebody with of Try Hack Me, Hack the Box with Kali Linux. Try Hack Me, Hack the Box are platforms that you practice. Kali Linux is an operating system. So it's good to actually separate those two. So good CV to look at. It's great to just separate those details. You know, sometimes also it's good to bring out some of the key achievements could be at the top before even the education part of things. So this can come a little bit higher than the others so that it gets to present you very well when it comes to, these details here. So as much as I've seen all of these certifications can be there, but major key achievements can come a little bit at the top. For me, that's what I will say for that. Did anybody? I'll have to. Let me see for John Mushina. I can only see two Johns. Oh, here. So full stack software engineer developer. You see, so full stack. All right, okay, let's keep on going. Moringa School and the likes, programming languages. So programming languages being able to be displayed. Operational efficiency. As a full stack developer, the first thing I'll be looking for is your GitHub repository, which is here. It's good to be able to actually mention the kind of projects you did, even when you were at Moringa School. So all of these languages, what did you actually create? You must have created a project. You must have created something. This technology, you've mentioned it there. You've mentioned it here again. For coursework is redundant. So it's good to actually just put them rather in the project. Oh, okay, they're here. Yeah. So let the team to be able to actually create that. A full stack solution. Yeah, this is actually good. Hey, I can see people are always putting available on request, which is good. So getting to display your, how do you call it, your project that you've done puts you at a very good spot as well. From that, I think the only thing I'll say about this is the formatting. Is the major thing that you might need to look at. John, just look at the formatting to be a little bit modern because the various fonts and changes here could be quite distracting as well. Is there any other? Does the length of the CV really matter? Yes, it does for the kind of job that you're looking for. Like I said, there's resume and CV. CV is technically a bit long, but when you look at what's the word? The resume becomes a bit shorter. So those are kind of a thing. Let me look. So you have to make sure that you also know what you're giving. I have different kind of formats that I have for various things. Brett. Brett, as you can see, is just here. You need to start tiny things. I don't know if is it a CV? I don't know what formatting is here, but a lot of your phone number is missing here. So I know you want to keep it simple, but being able to actually do it properly. Use most of these formatting tools to be able to get that done. Um, it's a one pager, summarizes everything. But so with the person who asked the question about how short, this is a very simple resume. If you want to give it to somebody quick, but something like this, spearhead our future like blockchain, which I was very eager to learn. So if you do the blockchain project and you actually spearhead technologies such as blockchain, be able to actually demonstrate that. I feel a lot more detail can be given to this, a little bit more weight, even though 2 pages are enough. 2, 3 pages if you want to just be able to demonstrate a few things. So with this summary, digital marketer and the likes, you've not demonstrated anything when it comes to the skills that you have put here. So TCP/IP and everything, you must have done a project. If not done a project, set up your own lab, go to online platforms, see where you have to apply your open source intelligence skills. Show where you've been able to actually done programming in Python, a project you've done before, so that it shows some of the skills of what you really want to actually focus on. So that would be my how do you call it? My hey, I've forgotten the word. You understand what I mean? My response, if I should put it that way. Let me see if anybody else is here. A single. Oh, a single has opened in a different tab. Share this tab instead. So a single, very rare skill that you have, something like DevOps. This should be like on top of your whatever of things. Okay, but anyway, it's still where it is. It's good. There's a lot of people who we don't have. These are rare skills in the industry. So I can tell you for free, these are the things you need to be talking about. And I hope you have put some of how do you call it, the project you've done, some of these projects. So a good representation of all of this would be great. I like the summaries here and what you've done. So I think it's just now the formatting, but I can tell you for free, you are a rare skill. The other day I posted a job about this. I don't know if you applied. A single. Excuse me. I'll take note of that. So those are some of the things we need to start looking for. Let me see if I can review another one. Dennis, 1-0. Oh, here it is. I think we'll get to close in a few. So we'll get to close soon, but I can review some of this later. Wow, there's Telcom risk security researcher. Let's reduce this. So Sam will close in the next maybe 5 minutes. So after I just reviewed this, cyber security professionals and everything. And this is somebody who's done work international. All this international work, you need to be able to actually represent them. Nice and easy. Out of all of these for application security and the skills, it would be great to just, put the one, maybe just the formatting. Otherwise, these are really good skills that you have here. Because somebody should see all these kind of clients and be able to actually, even the Hall of Fame. Wow. Really good CV here. So this person so it's good to be able to actually get to format this a little bit more, Dennis, because these are really good companies that you've worked with. If you're looking to actually grow and get more international companies, you've already shown all of those skill sets. So just the formatting of some of these details and where you have used some of them can be really good to be able to actually show. Because having such cybersecurity skills or threat modeling, pen testing, and then also you have cloud security skill set. Rare find, trust me. You're rare. You're one of those rare people to find. So if you show some of the projects you've done privately with this, even not at the companies you've worked with will be great. Oh, but then sometimes also how you space out between some of these can be really good. So for like from here, you don't have to talk about unidentified, unauthenticated API endpoints in internal application. You can represent that in a different way. When you talk about API security, you've been able to do reporting for those and everything. So a little bit of a change here so that you don't expose the particular client. This can be a work you've done a long time ago, but you don't want to put, excuse me, details of these things that how you've done or you have found about this particular client. You don't want to do that because somebody will look at it and be like, okay, meaning if you leave my company as well, you're going to expose me, So some of the things that I believe that we can, I hope we've been able to actually, get to see that. Oh, we are 600 people. So yeah, Sam, I think I want us to be able to close soon.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's been a long few hours, almost 2 hours now. It's 1 hour
yeah.
48 minutes.
It
I
doesn't
think
even feel like it.
I know.
Yeah.
Uh, so I think we can actually let people just ask questions, and we can just take one or two questions, and then we can close it up. But we need to do this more. I think this has really gone quite
Well,
well.
yeah, I agree.
For those who are streaming on YouTube, LinkedIn, and X, somehow this thing doesn't stream on Instagram. I don't know why.
Yeah, we'll figure it out for the next one so that it's
Yeah,
definitely can add it. Yeah.
that'd be another good place. So, questions, anybody? Q&A or comments? It could be. It doesn't have to be a question. It can be comment. What do you think about it? What do you think we can do better? What do we need to make sure this works?
Yeah,
I
what
think.
do we talk about that you guys like that we didn't touch on?
Yep. I think I want to work on phishing. Phishing attacks has become the next big thing, and is driving people nuts.
Yeah.
It's driving people nuts. So we need to. I think we'll do like a live demo session next time, which will be just full back to back to back to back to back demo. Nina Bonet said this has been really helpful. Thank you. I missed Africa Hackon WhatsApp group link. Let me just share again. Oh, there's quite a lot of requests already. Also, the reason why we ideally make the group closed for some time is just some people become a bit notorious in in these groups. So you basically open up too much.
Um, I'm just reading some of the comments.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I've approved all of them.
So I guess demos is definitely something that people want to see.
Okay.
So I think our demo session would be good.
Yeah. I think we're doing another one, which is a demo session, phishing demo. So it will be phishing. We'll look at various ways. Somebody says they can't see my chats, but oh, okay, that's weird. Sam, how can people reach you? LinkedIn, maybe?
Yeah, you can. My LinkedIn is just Samantha Gaiduma, so you can definitely talk to me there.
I'm going to look for it and then share.
I'm also able to recommend therapists, if that's something that people are interested in. So you can just talk to me on LinkedIn.
Because sometimes people think just knowing that you understand, how do you call it, mental health, meaning that you are a therapist. Please just explain the difference between the two.
So I studied psychology, but in Kenya you need to be board certified to be able to practice. So right now I'm not practicing. But yeah, just make sure when you're getting a therapist that they're certified, because not everyone, just because someone has a degree in psychology, doesn't make them qualified to be a therapist.
Yeah, that's true. I'm
Yeah.
seeing somebody say, how soon do we expect the next session? We want to do it monthly. So not just me, there'll be other people who will also be speaking. So we'll be able to see how to bring other special sessions or topics. But I think I'll do the next session myself in terms of showing the various tools that are out there, how that you can protect yourself, what to look out for, what are cyber criminals thinking, what are the new things they're trying to do, and then we will to share. So I think we can end it there. Sam, thank you so much for honoring my invitation to this session.
Thank you for
Just to
having me.
and to banter with me, and then just being able to share your thoughts in the space and be able to actually get to show people exactly what is happening out there, especially in the mental health part in the techies. It's brutal out there. But good to be here again. So, but let's do this again sometime. So thank everybody wherever you're tuning in from, where you're joining us from, either on X, or you're here live with us, or from YouTube, or LinkedIn. I hope it's been insightful. You've been able to actually get something different. The recording will be on our Africa Hack on YouTube page, Africa Hack on 254. We'll be able to actually see how we'll get that as soon as possible, maybe by tomorrow. And then
Yeah.
check our socials as well, especially Instagram, X, and all of those other places for you to see what is going on. For those who want to get into cybersecurity, you don't have to be a pro. You don't have to be somebody in tech to be able to actually join the cohort that is coming. The cohort is 65,000 Kenya shillings, but they're split payments. You can either pay one time, split it into three parts or two parts. So get to come see the best of the best hackers or cybersecurity professionals in the space who can actually, get you to the next level, to transition to your career. Yeah. So thank you so much, and I will be ending the
I think
stream. Yeah,
I think
Sam.
before you end, you can just add, like, do the WhatsApp link one more time. And then
Okay.
yeah, and then would you be willing to let people still send you CVs and you go through some of them, or is that like now closed completely?
It's gonna take some time,
Yeah.
but I can send you some. I think they can send it to my email, brazil@gmail.com. My email is the easiest to find, so people can share, and then I can see what's up. But Sam, what do you have to say before I close? I can't just shut it down like that. Some final words.
Um, Thank you as well. I think I speak on behalf of everyone. Like your session, like this was very informative. I feel like I'm learning so much about cybersecurity. And if I can learn so much and I know absolutely nothing, I have no background within the tech world, I think all of you can. So if it's something that you're thinking about doing, I would definitely recommend it. And yeah, take your mental health seriously, especially when it comes to work. Prioritize your mental health. And yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you so much, Sam. Thank you, everybody, and have a lovely evening.